Yeah, that's why there is freeze warning in Phoenix tonight. It was 85 degrees yesterday.
And now it
Is a freeze warning tonight, so it's supposed to be 20-something degrees at my house tomorrow.
I'm gonna go to 5.
Why?
Because that means we're gonna get snow.
No, there's only snow if there's moisture.
It is not.
It's just cold.
It's just like 40.
It's not even gonna touch 70s.
30s in
Oh.
the morning.
Okay, 30s, but I live in New River, so that's 1,000 feet higher than here.
That way?
Yes.
I don't know why
so far.
What time do you leave the
That
house?
far?
In the morning?
Between 4:30 and 5. Oh, but I also go to the gym first. So I leave my house then, I go to the gym, work out, and then come in. So it only takes me like 30 minutes to get to work when I'm actually like driving.
How long do you work out?
Probably an hour. So anyway, all right. So we're gonna go through this. So class, y'all suck at this. Let's try this again. Class. Okay. So I'm going over the review. Some people are just playing on their phones because you know what? They've given up on themselves. So they'd rather look at Instagram for the entire 50 of these minutes where I'm trying to make you pass. No, it's all right. It's all right. You know. Okay. So this right here says mass of an object, it decays. So what does decay mean? Decrease. It's going down by a growth factor of 1/3 each. There you go. By what growth factor does the mass change every half hour? Okay, so first, it's the P, R, and T. But when I'm looking for the factor, I'm just looking for the R. So in this case, my R starts off as 1/3. And my power for this one. What's my power going to be? Half hour, right? Every half hour, right? Every half hour. So I could actually do it like this. I could do 1/2, right?
Are we looking for the P?
No, we're not looking for P. We're just looking for the rate that it's multiplying by. So whenever I'm looking for the factor, the growth factor, it's just the R to that power. That's it. Just R to the power. So because every half hour, right? Every half hour. So in 2 half hours, would that be a whole hour? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now approximate that for me.
0.577.
0.577. Okay, that's good. What's another way could I have written it? Okay, so how about this? This one's slightly different. So we know every hour, right? So every 1 hour, but how much did we have this time? 1/2, right? We are looking for a half an hour, so that would be 0.5. So, because it's asking for, write the growth factor in 2 different ways. So we just wrote it like this. So this is by every half an hour. So it takes 2 half an hours for it to work. And this one right here is for every hour, but then I only plugged in half, or 0.5, for that. So I'll get the same answer for both. All right, this next one says, let P be representation of the populations, P of T in thousands of a country's population, T years after 1940. We have a model. How many people is there in 1940? How many people in 1940? Nope. Huh? 25,000. Because right here, years after 1940, and it's asking for you in 1940, right? Isn't that my starting year? Brooklyn? Yeah, why am I picking on Brooklyn? Yeah, please put it away. All right, so it's my starting year, isn't it? So this is when my T is equal to 0 because that's my starting. So it's my 25,000. What was the population in 1941? 1941. How are we going to do this? Use the equation. So we are going to say P of what? What am I plugging in?
One.
Why am I plugging in 1?
Years.
Is year.
1 year after 1940. Very good. So 1 year after 1940, 25 times 1.042 raised to the 1. So, and give it to me. On this one, it says in thousands.
26,005 would be 26,500.
26,000 what?
50. No,
0, 5, 0. Like that, right?
right.
So it's 26,050 people. Because each one of these is in thousands. My answer should have been 26.05, right? Say yes. For those people that are actually doing the math, it should be 26.05, but this is in thousands. So I have to move the decimal over 3 points. And this next one is asking for the growth rate per month. Per month. So now we're asking for growth rate, right? That goes back to the same thing as we're doing on the first one. Okay, what is the R value I'm using? 1.042, right? And it's raised to,
12.
not 12.
1.
What is it? Not 12 over 1. 1 over 12. 1 over 12. Because in 12 months would be a whole year, right? And because this is actually going by in population according to years. 1 over 12, because that to be a whole year, I need to raise it to 1 over 12. So 1 month out of the 12. So when I get to 12 over 12, that would be 1 power. So put that in the calculator. 1.3.
Yes. 343.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. And that's a growth rate per month.
We leave it like that, right?
Yeah, we can. All right, let's take a look at this next one then. It says scientists measure bacteria population and find that it is 20,000. 4 days later, they find that the population had tripled. Write a function of f to describe the bacteria population d days after scientists first measure it, assuming grows exponentially. So I know I'm going to have my p, my r, and the t. What's the p in this case?
20,000.
There we go. So I'm going to start off with 20,000. Now, on this problem right here, what do I have to solve for? The rate. I'm going to do the rate. So I'm going to solve for the rate. So my first point looks like this. It's going to be 0 and 20,000. And we know that the rate is supposed to triple, isn't it?
Right.
So in this case, I could just say R is 3. So I'm going to do that in this one. So it's going to be 20,000 times 3. Now, my exponent says 4 days later, isn't it?
Right.
4 days later, it's going to triple. So what am I going to write for my exponent? Not 4.
D over 4.
Okay, so it's D over 4. Because in 4 days will be 4 over 4, which is 1. So it'd be 3 to the first power is just 3. So it'd be 3 times this. So that would be my tripling. And that's going to be my F of D. That's it. Just write the function. Are we okay? All right. Here's right here. The value of a rare car increases exponentially. 2 points on the graph show the car's initial value and hundreds of thousands of dollars and its value 2 years afterwards. Express the car's value t in hundreds of thousands of dollars as a function of time y in years after purchase. What's my initial value?
50?
1.5. So my first point is 0, comma 1.5, and my second point is 2, comma 6, right? So we need to solve for r in this one. This one we don't have the r. It doesn't say what it does. So the other one, the previous one, told us that it tripled. This one doesn't. So let's start off with the initial, which is going to be 1.5 times r. And now what do I have to do?
D over 2.
Nope.
2 over 7.
Nope. We have to solve for r. Do you guys remember solving for r here? I have to use the second point. I have to use the second point. So what power am I going to use here?
Oh.
2. Why 2? Because this is my time right here, right? So it's going to be 2 and then equals 6. Because this value right here is what it's supposed to end up equaling. So when I plug in 2 for the t, my output is supposed to be 6. It's always got to go like this. So I have my initial times my rate, then I put my second point here and here. All right, to get r by itself, what would I do? Divide by 1.5, so I got to do this first, then I'll square root. So I get r squared is equal to 4. Square root, so r is equal to 2. R is equal to 2. Okay, now we have to write it as a function. So it's going to be f of,
T?
not t,
Y?
so y, y years, right? Because I'm going to be plugging in years. Equals my initial 1.5 times raised to the,
2 over y. I mean y over 2.
this one's just y, because it's every year. Now the reason why it's slightly different, I want to point this out because a lot of people are actually having the same issue. Okay, this one is a fractional. They give it to us in a year, right? So your equation goes by years, but they ask for month. So 1 month, it takes 12 of those, right? It takes 12 of those. So 12 over 12 would be 1 year. That's the reason why we do a fractional. Because this one's in years, and I'm asking for months. This one right here is in years and asking for years. So we just have my y. So there's no fractional exponent. Now it says write an expression to represent the car's value 25 months after purchase. So is this one in years?
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Years. Years with the y. Years after purchase. Because it's in years. Now this question is asking for in months, right? So I'm going to write the whole thing. So it's going to be f of 25 is equal to 1.5 times 2 raised to the, now it's asking for months, right? 25 over 12. Because 12 months will give me 1 year. So every time I'm doing my math, if it was 12 over 12, that would be 1 year. If it's 24 over 12, that would be 2 years. Does that make sense or no?
Yes.
Luis? Looking at me questionably. Maybe? Do you understand that right here we're in years, but this one down here we're asking for months? Okay. Is there a question over this, or do you not like it? Just tired? Okay. All right, it doesn't ask for the value. It just says write an expression. All right, this next one. Sample of uranium has a weight of 64 milligrams and a half-life of approximately 8 years. Okay, so how much of the sample remain after 8 years, 16, and 24? First, what's my starting? What's my initial? 64, right? But what's the time when I'm starting?
0.
0 time has passed, so I have all of that. So my initial, my starting when time is 0, I have 64. All right, how about this? In 8 years, what's going to be left?
32.
Why is it 32? Because right here it says it has a half-life of 8 years. So in 8 years, it will be equal to 1/2. So I got this first one, but we have to make the equation out of it. So we're going to use these 2 points right here to make the equation. Because we don't know what the R value is. We don't know what R value is, so we're going to make the equations. Pacho's Petting Zoo. Okay, all right, bye. Dahlia, you're leaving. All right, let's go ahead, write this out. So my initial value is 64. I have to solve for the R. Now to solve for the R, what do I have to do from here?
What's your other point?
Use my other point.
So it would be 8
My exponent is
8 equals 32. 8 over 2?
8, and it's equal to,
32.
like that.
32, because it's not asking, sorry.
Yes, go ahead. All right, so from here, we're still trying to solve for R, right? So what would I do to try and get the R by itself? 64, there we go. So 0.5 is equal to R to the 8. Okay, so 8th root, right? 0.5, which is about?
0.917.
Okay, I'll hold on a minute. I'm going to let everyone try and catch up on this because they were checking their phone while we were doing the math on this. I want to make sure. Now, for this one right here, if you notice I'm going out of order on this. Okay, so my whole function, so we're writing out the function f of t. So f of t would equal, what's my initial? 64 times 0.917, right? And what am I going to raise this to? Because I'm making a function out of this. T. T years, right? T years. So that's why, so this is my whole function. I need this to do part A. I was able to do this first part pretty easy because half-life on that one's easy. All right.
Wait, so it's in reverse? It's backwards?
Kind of. I'm doing them backwards, but this one right here, I already got the first one. I just need to do these two. So to get this, I had to do the first one here anyway. But now I have to go back and fill these in. So I'm going to do an f of 16 and an f of 24. And you people right now are plugging this in to your handy dandy calculator. have 64, but you wrote 6.4 on both of them. Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to. I think that was just like where my pen slipped. But it's 64, not 6.4. Yeah, sorry, that's a pen slip.
You and I fix it.
There you go. All right, let's see. Luis, what'd you get for f of 16? 15 point what? 99? Okay. Let me see. Let me double check my stuff. You guys agree with them?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, and who haven't I called on? All right. Go ahead. Georgie, what's f of 24? You didn't get it?
No.
Still working on it, right? Okay. You didn't do it? Hasfa,
About me.
what's f of 24?
I didn't do it.
Okay, ask Rafa. He did.
Okay, Rafa, did you do it?
Maybe.
Okay. Josh, can you tell me what f of 24 is?
I'm still working on it.
Still working on it?
He was just started his lectures.
Okay. Leslie, did you get f of 24?
7.99.
7 point what?
99.
There we go. And these are all in milligrams.
I say I got it now, but when I get the test tomorrow, I'll be like,
Okay, so you're gonna like 500 views on this, right? All right, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button.